It is the 24th of October. 12 days remain. This is the warning. Already, 17 million Americans have voted. On Election Day, somewhere out there, the last American will cast the last vote of the election. And when they do, the total number will exceed 160 million votes cast for President of the United States. In the late 1960s, on the edge of an era of turmoil and turbulence, the band Buffalo Springfield sang, "There's something happening here, and what it is ain't exactly clear." And she did not evade it. She did not dodge it. She called Donald Trump out for what he is, what he has become, what his MAGA movement is, and what his MAGA movement has become.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted. Again, look at their careers. These are not people, with the exception, I think, of only Mike Pence. These were not politicians. These are career people who have served in the highest roles in national security, who have served as generals in our military, who are highly respected. Talking about the person who would be commander-in-chief.
Donald Trump is a fascist. What is fascism? How does it differ from democracy? Well, at its core, these are oppositional political philosophies. Democracies aren't perfect, but they have a perfect understanding about the dignity of the human being, which they place at the center of the system. Democracies are the only form of government that has ever been that placed the individual human being above the power of the state. Fascism has the absolute opposite viewpoint. What they believe in is a natural social hierarchy, like the animal kingdom. Some animals are predators, some are prey, some are weak, and some are strong. In this world, the strong dominate the weak because it's the natural order of things. And the individual is a cog in the machinery of the state. The collective and the service of it is the definition of freedom in this warped and perverse model. Nationalism, the virulent idea that militarism, that force, that strength, that violence are the key to the founding of a state and a coherent society. All of this is madness, but it's very real. It's identifiable, it's tangible, and it's not new. Though it seemed extinct for a long, long while, because this philosophy has killed more people than any other political philosophy except for communism, which is its close competitor. More than 100 million people died because of fascism by the midpoint of the 20th century. What is MAGA? What is Trumpism? It's this. We just have to cross out the dates. It is the same proposition. Listen to what Trump is saying.
We had to go back to 1798. That's when we had laws that were effective. 1798 we had to go back to. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. Automatic if they come back into our country. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Listen to what his top propagandists are saying.
If they go out of their way to crush families, to make it impossible for your kids to buy a house, getting involved in the sex lives of your children, which they are, if they do all of that, they need to lose. And at the end of all of it, when they tell you they've won, no. You can look them straight in the face and say, I'm sorry, Dad's home. and he's pissed.
Can you hear the darkness, the threats? Look at this crowd of young people. They are cheering for madness. They are cheering for a lie, for the proposition that if you turn over liberty and you turn over freedom to strength and force, that all of your problems can be swept away under the wise hand of the strong leader who is wise and never wrong. What you're seeing is a cult of personality. All cults of personality cheer madness, cheer incoherence, because they're not cheering what the leader says, they're cheering the leader, no matter what he says. It's a most dangerous moment we've arrived at in the life of the United States. We are in the life of a nation. We are in the crowded hours. This is not a time of still water, but rather raging rapids. A great proposition is laid before us. A political party is asking to be invested with power that no American political party has ever asked for. Donald Trump has promised he will throw out the Constitution of the United States of America. Don't worry about how. Don't believe that it's impossible. Focus on the intention. He wants to, and he will not have restraints in a second term. He's threatened violence, mayhem. He talks about our fellow Americans as our enemies. He's incited an insurrection against the peaceful transition of power. He doesn't believe in elections. He doesn't believe in free speech. He doesn't believe in the freedom of conscience. He doesn't believe that it's appropriate for the most powerful person in the country to be criticized by the lesser people. He believes in the power of Putin, in the power of Xi. He believes in systems where strength is manifested by the leader's will to make things happen through an order. He's a dictator. It's why he fetishizes them. There's never been anybody, ever, who has said more un-American things than Donald Trump. And what he's saying at the close of an election is a radical departure from anything anyone has ever said at the close of an election. Here's what Jimmy Carter was saying.
I hope you don't mind if I don't make a long speech. I need your help. You need mine. We're in it together. We're partners. Let's change our country, make it great once again, okay?
Here's what Reagan was saying.
At this very moment, some young American coming up along the Virginia or Maryland shores of the Potomac is seeing for the first time the lights that glow on the great halls of our government and the monuments to the memory of our great men. Let us resolve tonight that young Americans will always see those Potomac lights, that they will always find there a city of hope in a country that is free. And let us resolve they will say of our day and of our generation that we did keep faith with our God, that we did act worthy of ourselves, that we did protect and pass on lovingly that shining city on a hill.
Here's what Al Gore was saying.
According to our Constitution, there's one day that comes around every 4 years when you have the power and the special interests tremble at the thought that you will penetrate the veil, lift the smoke screen, see clearly the interests of your loved ones and your families. That day is tomorrow, and I need your vote, and I need your support.
Here's what Clinton was saying.
If you vote for Bill Clinton and Al Gore, there'll be a lot of nights when we work till 10 o'clock looking into your problems, your promise, your future, your America, building people up, not tearing them down.
Here's what Trump is saying.
They're taking over Times Square in New York, and they have weapons that our military doesn't even have. You say, where the hell are they getting the weapons? But we have guys that want to confront them, and they're going to be allowed to confront them, and we're going to get them the hell out of here.
The American people are strong and defiant, and this is a moment to appreciate that Donald Trump and his movement of extremists are trying to take something from all of us that doesn't belong to them. It's not theirs to take, because what they're trying to steal is God-given. It's our rights as Americans. freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of conscience. These things are not for sale. These things are not Donald Trump's to take or to grant. They were purchased a long, long time ago with the blood of patriots, the blood of our ancestors. And what they gave us is our trust to hold, to preserve, and to strengthen for our children. And so now we stand in these crowded hours, 12 days out, a monumental question on the table. Whose hands do we place the baton that continues the story of America, that hands it to another leader, that has the qualities, perhaps, of goodness and greatness that were once ascribed to Abraham Lincoln? There's no possibility that that person could be Donald Trump, the most vile man to ever reach for power in American history. Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, is the person singularly who stands between you and a fascist as the chief executive of the American government, commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the world. The standard, the only one that matters is Kamala Harris is for your freedom and Donald Trump is for his power. This is The Warning. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning, and I invite you to subscribe on our Substack, on our YouTube channel. Follow us. Welcome to the community.